From Beginner to Confident English Speaker, a Personal English Learning Journey. Chapter 1. My first English class. I still remember my first English class very clearly. It was many years ago when I was a high school student. At that time, English was very difficult for me. When the teacher entered the classroom, she smiled and said, "Good morning, everyone." All the students answered together, "Good morning, teacher." But I felt nervous. I didn't understand much English. I only knew a few words like hello, yes, and thank you. The teacher wrote something on the board. "My name is Sarah." "What is your name?" She pointed to the first student. The student stood up and said, "My name is Anna." Then the teacher looked at me. "What is your name?" My heart started beating very fast. I stood up slowly and said in a quiet voice, "My name is David." The teacher smiled. "Nice to meet you, David." I didn't know how to answer, so I just smiled and sat down. At that moment, I felt embarrassed. Everyone else seemed better than me. I thought, English is too hard. Maybe I cannot learn it. But I didn't know that this was only the beginning of my journey. Chapter 2. Struggling with English. In the beginning, learning English was very frustrating. I tried to remember many new words. Apple, book, teacher, student, travel. But every time I learned a word, I forgot it the next day. Sometimes I opened my English book and stared at the pages. I didn't understand the sentences. The grammar rules were also confusing. Past tense, present perfect, future tense. It felt like a big puzzle. One day I told my friend, "I think English is impossible." My friend laughed and said, "No, it's not impossible. It just takes time." But at that moment, I didn't believe him. Chapter 3. Discovering English Videos. One evening, something interesting happened. I was using the internet and saw a short English video. At first, I didn't understand most of it, but I turned on the subtitles. Now I could read and listen at the same time. It was still difficult, but it was also interesting. So I watched another video, and another. Soon it became a daily habit. Every evening I watched English videos. Sometimes I paused the video and repeated the sentences. "Hello, how are you?" "Nice to meet you." "Where are you from?" Slowly, my ears started getting used to the sound of English. For the first time, learning English felt fun. Chapter 4. Reading Simple Books. Later, I started reading simple English books. At first, the stories were very easy. The sentences were short. Example: Tom is a student. Tom lives in London. Tom likes football. Even though the story was simple, it helped me understand English better. When I saw a new word, I looked it up in the dictionary. Then I continued reading. Sometimes I read the same page 2 or 3 times. Slowly I began learning more vocabulary. And something amazing happened. After a few months I could read longer stories. I realized my English was improving. Chapter 5. My first conversation with a foreigner. One day I had an unexpected experience. I was walking near a train station when a tourist stopped me. He asked, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" For a moment I froze. My mind was empty. Then I said slowly, "Yes, a little." He smiled. "Can you help me? I'm looking for the museum." I tried my best to explain. "Go straight, then turn left. The museum is near the park." My sentences were simple, but he understood me. He said, Thank you very much. After he left, I felt incredibly happy. That was my first real conversation in English. It was not perfect, but it worked. That moment gave me a lot of confidence. Chapter 6. Making International Friends. Later, I met some international students online. They came from different countries: Japan, Brazil, Spain, Germany. English was the only language we all understood. At first, our conversations were slow. Sometimes we made mistakes. Sometimes we didn't understand each other. But we kept talking. One day, my friend from Brazil said, "Don't worry about mistakes. Just speak." That advice changed my mindset. From that day, I stopped worrying too much. I focused on communication, and my speaking improved quickly. Chapter 7. My first job using English. A year later, I got a part-time job at a small cafe. Many tourists visited this cafe. On my first day, I was very nervous. A customer walked in and said, "Hi, can I get a coffee and a sandwich?" I understood most of it, but I was still nervous. I answered, "Yes, 1 coffee, 1 sandwich." The customer smiled. "That's perfect." At that moment, I realized something important. My English was good enough to work. Every day I spoke English with customers. Some were friendly, some spoke very fast, but every conversation helped me improve. Chapter 8. A difficult moment. Not every day was easy. One day a customer spoke very fast with a strong accent. I couldn't understand anything. I felt embarrassed. I said, "I'm sorry, could you repeat that?" He repeated it again, slowly. This time I understood. That experience taught me an important lesson. Even native speakers repeat themselves sometimes. It's okay to ask. Chapter 9. Practicing every day. After that, I practiced English every day. I read books. I watched videos. I listened to podcasts. I spoke with friends. Sometimes I even talk to myself in English. For example, today I will go to work. I need to buy groceries. This movie is interesting. It felt strange at first, but it helped me think in English. Chapter 10. The Big Presentation. 2 years later, something incredible happened. My manager asked me, "Can you give a short presentation for the new employees?" The presentation was in English. At first I was scared. Public speaking is difficult. Speaking in English is even harder. But I prepared carefully. I practiced many times. Finally, the day arrived. I stood in front of the room. My heart was beating fast, but I started speaking. "Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about customer service." As I continued, I felt more relaxed. The words came naturally. After the presentation finished, everyone applauded. My manager smiled and said, "Great job!" At that moment, I realized something. I had come a long way. Final message: never give up. When I think about my journey, I remember the shy student in the first English class. That student was afraid to speak, afraid to make mistakes. But step by step, everything changed. Learning English is not about being perfect. It's about practice. It's about patience. It's about courage. If I could learn English step by step, you can do it too. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Every day you practice, you get closer to your dream. And one day you will look back and realize how far you have come. Keep learning. Keep speaking, and never give up.